Hi YouTube friends, I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead, and today we're going to go ahead and talk about how to make a lemon balm tincture with the fresh herb. You can actually use the dried herb to make a lemon balm tincture too, but really lemon balm has volatile oils that they tend to evaporate more quickly than other herbs, so most herbalists do prefer to make fresh lemon balm tinctures if you can. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about why and how you do it, and the choices that you're making with your alcohol and all that good stuff. But first, a little bit about lemon balm. So lemon balm is a member of the mint family, and it contains chemicals that are really helpful for calming and soothing just the emotional state. I love using lemon balm with children. It's super helpful, and it's gentle, and it's great for digestion. It's good for many other things too. You can also create salves with it. Lemon balm has kind of an affinity for helping our bodies fight off herpes type viruses too. So lemon balm tea is another thing you could actually make. A lot of people feel like lemon balm is a nuisance because it just kind of takes over areas like many mints do. But truly, I just love it. And I think if you are fortunate and blessed enough to have lemon balm growing in your garden, please don't pull it out. Look for an herbalist who might want to have some. It's a wonderful, wonderful plant. Okay. So I just mentioned that we're going to make a fresh herb tincture, and that's because a lot of the volatile oils in lemon balm get lost once it's dried, and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this quart jar and put my basket down here. And I'm going to just chop up from the leaf end the plant. Just give it a good little chop. Chopping your herbs allows them to start releasing the chemicals that are inside them. And this is especially helpful for your fresh herbs. Oh my goodness. I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Lemon balm smells a little like lemons. I'm sure you could have figured that one out. But it's just a really beautiful plant. Bees love it. It's great for pollinators. The flowers are kind of interesting. If you just let your lemon balm plant grow, a lot of times you'll get another set of leaves above the flowers, and then the process will start all over again. And that's with very large plants. But I wish you could smell this. All right, so what you want to do, you can see I've just got a lot of lemon balm here. I am going to put this plant matter into my jar. Okay. And I may have to actually go get some more lemon balm from my plant outside. You want to kind of pack it pretty well if you're doing the fresh tincture, okay? And that's because this is a plant that really has a hard time releasing its oils and its constituents, at least in comparison with other plants and other mints especially. So it's good if you can get the plant kind of broken down first and then just pack your jar. Okay. And then what you do is once your jar is packed, you're going to cover it with your alcohol, which is your solvent. And in that way, the alcohol it helps the plant release its constituents and gives you a beautiful tincture that you can use. And you're probably wondering about dosing. That's the next question I always get when I start talking about tinctures. So if here's the thing about tinctures. A lot of people want to feel like they can standardize tinctures, and you really can't. Even if you're using a formula, like some of the herbal books will have standardized formulas. Basically, you weigh out the leaves, and then you measure out the liquid in cc's, so grams versus cc's, and in that way you have kind of a standardized method of creating your tinctures. This is more like the folk method right here. We're just putting our plant matter in the jar, and then we're going to cover it with some alcohol. I personally have had extremely wonderful success with my folk method. And I know some herbalists they feel very strongly that you need to standardize your process. So if you are selling your tinctures in any form, yes, you need to have your personal standardized process. It doesn't need to match what anybody else says, but you need to have your process. But with all that said, I use the folk method. I'm very happy with it. And I just want to point something out. You can't really standardize a plant. So plants are going to give you slightly different chemistries from one region to another, from one climate to another, from one season to another even. So like an example of that would be the lemon balm that I have here this year, because of the growing season that we had, is very likely to contain slightly different chemical makeups than other lemon balms grown in other seasons, even if they're growing in the exact same spot. Another example of this is, let's talk about rosemary, for example. So some plants have different chemistry even depending on where they're grown. So with rosemary, you can have what's known as chemotypes, and some rosemary might be better for the respiratory system than other rosemaries. And this is all because plants are not standardized. Okay, so I've got a pretty nicely packed jar here. I'm very happy with this. And now I'm going to choose my alcohol. So the alcohol for fresh lemon balm tincture is also another area of debate among herbalists. Some herbalists say that you need to use super high proof alcohol, like this is 190 proof, so it is like 95% alcohol. Okay, that's very high. Other herbalists say that you can go ahead and use an 80 proof alcohol. And I am one of those people who says, do experience it yourself, and then you can make a choice. My personal favorite proof for fresh lemon balm tincture is a range of 100 proof to maybe 150 proof. I do like a bit of a higher proof, and that's because the leaves contain a lot of moisture, and you don't want that moisture diluting your alcohol too much, okay? Also, another thing to know about your tinctures is you do need to have at least 25% alcohol in your final product. And if you have a very wet herb, then you are already diluting down the alcohol. So if you're using like an 80 proof alcohol, which is 40% alcohol, and you add a really juicy plant in there, it's possible, not likely, but possible that you could end up with less than 25% alcohol, and then you would not have a preserved shelf-stable product. So just some things to think about. So what I'm going to use here is a combination of my super high proof and my 80 proof vodka. All right, and in that way, it's going to come out where I like it, which is right around 100 to 120 proof. And I'm not going to do the math on it. It is what it is, and it's going to be just fine. So I'm going to pour in about half 80 proof. And I'm doing this just because I don't have any 150 proof or 100 proof. I've got the two extremes of alcohol with me right now. So I'm just going to go the middle road with each of them and call it good. And then I will fill this about the rest of the halfway up. Want to cover your leaves. And then you put your lid on top. Make sure you label your tincture. It's very important. Give it a good shake. And it looks like I'm going to need to add a little more alcohol in there. I know that's just because it's fresh and it's popping to the top. One of the things about your tinctures is that sometimes plants will absorb a lot of the liquid, and you may actually have to add more, and that's fine. You can always add more liquid. And that's just another reason why you can't standardize a tincture for real. Okay, so there we go. A fresh Lemon Balm Tincture in the making. This I'm going to let macerate and sit and steep and shake it occasionally for, I'm going to say, about 6 to 8 weeks. When I'm working with fresh herbs, I really like to make sure that everything is extracted as much as possible. So this is going to be a longer sitting tincture. I am going to go ahead and place it in a window where it gets a little bit of gentle sunlight for about 4 weeks, and then I'll take it away and put it someplace else. When it's all done, I will strain off the liquid and I will bottle it up into jars, like the mason jars for long-term storage and little amber glass dropper bottles for daily use. As far as dosage goes, lemon balm is very, very safe. It's an extremely safe herb. You can take as much as you feel like you need, but generally speaking, a normal adult dose is about a half a teaspoon, okay? So there's not very much. A half a teaspoon if you're using an amber glass dropper bottle is 3. You just squeeze the bulb and let the liquid go as high as it wants to go into the dropper, and you do 3 of those. And you basically place it under your tongue and allow it to sit there as long as you can and then swallow. If the alcohol is too harsh for your tender membranes in your mouth, and for some people it is, then it's definitely okay to dilute your dosage in water. All right, so anyway, there's so much to learn about herbalism. If you want to learn about herbalism, I hope you take a look at my school. I do teach herbal classes, and I have wonderful student groups and experienced herbalists and aromatherapists to help answer all of your questions about natural medicine, natural wellness using herbs and essential oils, as well as other self-reliance topics. So I hope you'll join us. I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe to my channel and make sure you grab one of your free gifts. You can grab them if you saw them go by at the top or in the description below. I'll also have links. Thanks you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.